What is up, YouTube? It's Rahul. I'm back here with another video today. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit shot. I got a little bit of hypey at the 1K event I went to yesterday, saw a bunch of old friends, had a really good time, and I lost my voice waking up this morning. It is pretty much almost recovered. I basically didn't talk at all day. My mom says it was a great thing that I couldn't talk. Thanks, Mom. But I want to get this video out for tomorrow. Sorry about the voice. If you feel pity for me, subscribe. I take pity. But anyway, I played Rapid Strike Urshifu Moltres, and if you couldn't tell by the title, I won money. I got top 8 and we split, so that's the result. If you care about that, let's jump into it. So I played Rapid Strike Urshifu Moltres, a deck that I've talked about a ton of times on this channel, a deck that I'm very fond of, and a deck that I think is very, very good. Now, the only thing that has really changed from the list or how it works is we're going to be using Rapid Strike Urshifu to be using either Gale Thrust or VMAX Rapid Flow to kind of set up these two shots, basically across the board. And VMAX Rapid Flow also picks off a lot of things that are setup oriented, kind of get the ball rolling, that kind of stuff. Now, we also have Moltres, which has Dire Flame Wings, that lets us accelerate an energy to this card. I'm going to lower my tone, maybe this will help a little bit. Dire Flame Wings is going to help us accelerate energy, and Aura Burn does 190. This is really good against Mew VMAX, which is the biggest threat to this deck right now. Mew VMAX is broken. I think even with the Moltres, it's unfavored, but it gives us a fighting chance. We have our Inteleon line. Inteleon helps us with the numbers by getting pings onto the board, the 2, and we have 1 Inteleon with shady dealings. Crobat's a must because we need to dig a little bit deeper, find those supporters that we need on certain turns, etc., etc. Passimian gives us that bench damage. We really need that a lot of the time. With Telescopic Sight, we can do 180 to 2 things, and that really sets up the math for the future. And then we have this new cute addition, Basculin with Swarm the Wound. This guy does 10 plus 30, or 30 plus 10 for each damage counter on an active Pokemon. So if you 150 a V that becomes a VMAX, that's now a one-shot in most scenarios. So that's why he's in here. The rest of the deck is pretty cookie cutter. We have an Energy Search. We have 2 copies of Energy Switch to use combos. We have 1 copy of Escape Rope. We have 3 copies, of Evolution Incense, 3 copies of Level Ball, and 4 copies of Quick Ball. 2 copies of Tower of Waters. I think playing 1 is really silly because Path to the Peak really hurts your combination. And so many decks are playing stadiums, so you need to be able to retreat. Notably, there's no switch in the deck, so we only have like these switching options. 1 copy of Boss. We don't really need to boss up anything because we're usually rapid flowing or popping whatever's in the active. We have 1 copy of Cheryl. The biggest reasoning for this is I expected like Jolteon, Ice Rider, Suicune to still be popular. And this kind of, if Suicune never one-shots you, you can Cheryl off that damage and they waste a turn. And you can usually use that turn to rapid flow or just hit their active and get really, really, really far ahead. 2 copies of Marnie. You need to reset your hand a lot of the time. 4 copies of Research. I think you need to draw cards. And 2 copies of Raihan, just because, well, it's really good. 1 copy of Air Balloon for the retreating, 1 Sight, 4 Rapid, 4 Dark, and 1 Fighting Energy. Now, the deck worked like a charm. I went 3-1-1, ID'd into top 8, and we split. And I'll explain why we split. I'll do that right now. I had a Mew VMAX, and I didn't want to play. If I had anything else in cut, I would have split. I would have played. So, round 1, I go up against Mew VMAX. It's a newer player, so he's playing a little bit more aggressive, a little bit different than what I think a seasoned player would do. But based on the hand I was getting, the early games I was getting, it's best of 3, by the way. Game 1, like, really was going super good for me. I had set up a rapid flow onto 2 Genesects into Inteleon Ping kill 1 and Inteleon Ping to set up a kill on the other. All I needed to do is have, I had like a 10 card hand, and I had the Raihan, I had the Dark in the discard, I had not a Quick Ball, but like an E-Search in hand, and all I needed to do was like top deck a Dark, top deck a Drizzile, something, to get like a Quick Ball or something like that. I ended up not getting what I needed. I Raihan'd, but I didn't have a way to discard another Dark Energy into the discard, so I couldn't set up the Moltres in 1 turn to take the game, which it is what it is. The matchup is like on a hair's breadth. Game 2, he got super aggro with his only move, LSS Sparkle, turn 1, and greeted for a Sobble. And again, I was one card off of taking the knockout with Moltres. Um, so maybe fifth Dark helps, but I think also we discarded all the cards we could turn 1, did what we could turn 2. Like, we got the Raihan playoff. It's just, I don't think the extra energy would have helped. So I got 2-0'd by Mew. Sucked to start 0-1. Round 2, I went up against Ice Rider. Yeah, I went up against, no, Suicune. And so game 1, my opponent bricked like super, super hard, which happens. He got like double Sobble down, but I got the Rapid Flow off, so you cut the them off at the circulation. Game 2 was a little bit more of a game, but I once again was able to cut off 2 Sobbles, leaving them with a little bit less. They tried to make a play to go for a one-shot with double Ludicolo one turn, and when they didn't do it, I was able to Cheryl and just win with the time I bought myself. So I'm now 1-1. Game 3, I go up against Jolteon. Probably the freest matchup in the room, right? Wrong. Game 1, I open nothing. I don't find Sobbles. It still comes down to the wire where I could go, he knocks out my active Urshifu, and I'm left with a Moltres with like 120 damage on it, a Passimian with like 20 damage on it, and my bench has just Sobbles. So I go draw for turn. I bench the Urshifu, Rapid Strike, because I'm thinking I can still 100 Furious Blows. And so I research. I messed up, or I didn't mess up, I guess. Like, I research, and I get the Shady Dealings, and I slam Shady Dealings because I'm thinking, okay, I have Air Balloon, E-Switch in deck, and I can go Air Balloon, E-Switch, and I have the Rabbit in hand. I prized E-Switch. One of them, and the other was in the discard, so I lost. It is what it is. And then game 2, it was like a 10-minute game. Or not 10 minute, like a 2-minute game. I was like lone Zigzagoon pass, and then I just like donked it. Round 3, or game 3, I wouldn't say it came down to the wire, but I basically I like got up 3 prizes really quickly, and he started setting damage up on my board, taking the first prize on a Drizzile after Marnieing me. My hand was like, Rapid Energy, Evo Incense, Balloon, and I didn't have a basic Urshifu on my bench, so I drew for turn. It was a dark. Oh no, I had a quick ball too. Sorry, I think. So I attached the dark to the active big Urshifu to threaten a rapid flow, whatever. I benched the other Urshifu and I passed. He pinged the baby Urshifu on the bench, took a prize on the Drizzile, went down to 5 prizes, and he thought that it would activate Raihan, but I had no basic energy in the discard. So Raihan's not activated. Fun fact for you guys: if you don't have basic energy in the discard pile, you can't activate Raihan. So with that, I go to 2-1. And so now I'm big chillin'. I have a couple of good matchups at 2-1. There is a Mew at 2-1. I'm a little bit scared. And I ended up hitting Ice Rider. And game 1 was pretty much a stomp. And then game 2 came down to my opponent forgot to ping something. But had he not, I had the Cheryl in hand to wipe a full 290 damage off of Urshifu and lock up the game. But both starts were like really rocky from Ice Rider. And I think it was due to them playing Forehammer and like a couple counts of Fan, which does clunk up your deck as you go. But with some good path plays and good hammer flips, I was stalled long enough for them to have a chance. Now at 3-1, I hit Victini VMAX. We took the ID, got into top 8. And that's all she wrote. At that point, we were tied in. And then the pot is $1,000 and the matchups go up. I hit the other Mew VMAX in cut. I knew the other guy was first seed, the one I played round 1, because he didn't ID until the last round. There was 2 Jolteons in cut, a Rapid Urshifu, myself. So I'm the Rapid Urshifu, 2 Mews, a Gengar, a Victini, and a Dragapult. So very wide cut, honestly. No Suicune, no Ice Rider, despite it being probably the most popular deck in the room. And then I hit the Mew, and ironically, I was the last person to accept the split but everyone wanted to get out of there, I guess. And for me, I guess I couldn't have been happier because I hit a Mew. So I took the split. I took my 125. I bought some Umbreons and an Altart Zeraora with my credit. And yeah, sorry my voice isn't great, guys. I really apologize if this was insufferable to watch. But if you enjoyed the content, like, subscribe. I'll be back on Wednesday with regular content. Hopefully my voice is back. And as a follow-up, I did do vlog footage, but the files got corrupted in the transfer. So I really apologize, and I'll try to do better. I'll end your suffering. Sorry, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Love you.